I am among the ministers of God. I am among the ministers of God. And I am grateful that I have the means by which to recognize that I am free. I am among the ministers of God. I am among the ministers of God. And so are you. I'm Willie from the Ozarks, and thank you so much for joining me today on Saturday, June the 3rd of 2023 for Lesson 154 in A Course in Miracles, Workbook for Students. We're reading from the original edition. I am among the ministers of God. Let us today neither be arrogant nor falsely humble. We have gone beyond such foolishness. We cannot judge ourselves, nor need we do so. These are but attempts to hold decision off and to delay commitment to our function. It is not our part to judge our worth, nor can we know what role is best for us. What we can do within a larger plan we cannot see in its entirety. Our part is cast in heaven, not in hell. And what we think is weakness can be strength. What we believe to be our strength is often arrogance. What we think is weakness can be strength. What we believe to be our strength is often arrogance. Whatever your appointed role may be, it was selected by the voice of God, whose function is to speak for you as well. Seeing your strengths exactly as they are and equally aware of where they can be best applied, for what, to whom, and when, He chooses and accepts your part for you. He does not work without your own consent, but He is not deceived in what you are and listens only to His voice in you. It is through His ability to hear one voice which is His own that you become aware at last there is one voice in you, and that one voice appoints your function and relays it to you, giving you the strength to understand it, do what it entails, and to succeed in everything you do that is related to it. God has joined His Son in this, and thus His Son becomes His messenger of unity with Him. It is this joining through the voice of God, of Father and of Son, that sets apart salvation from the world. It is this voice which speaks of laws the world does not obey, which promises salvation from all sin, with guilt abolished in the mind that God created sinless. Now this mind becomes aware again of who created it, and of His lasting union with itself. So is itself the one reality in which it will and that of God are joined. So is its self the one reality in which its will and that of God are joined. A messenger does not elect to make the message he delivers, nor does he question the right of him who does, nor ask why he has chosen those who will receive the message that he brings. It is enough that he accept it, give it to the one for whom it is appointed, and fulfill his role in its delivery. If he determines what the messages should be, or what their purpose is, or where they should be carried, he is failing to perform his proper part as bringer of the word. There is one major difference in the role of heaven's messengers which sets them off from those the world appoints. The messages which they deliver are intended first for them, and it is only as they can accept them for themselves that they become able to bring them further and to give them everywhere that they were meant to be. Like earthly messengers, they did not write the messages they bear, but they become their first receivers in the truest sense, receiving to prepare themselves to give. An earthly messenger fulfills his role by giving all the messages away. The messengers of God perform their part by their acceptance of his messages as for themselves and show they understand the messages by giving them away. They choose no roles that are not given them by his authority, and so they gain by every message which they give away. Would you receive the messages of God? For thus do you become his messengers. You are appointed now, and yet you wait to give the messages you have received, and so you do not know that they are yours and do not recognize them. No one can receive and understand he has received until he gives. No one can receive and understand he has received until he gives. For in the giving is his own acceptance of what he received. You who are now the messengers of God receive his messages for what is part of your appointed role. Oh, for that is your part. You who are now the messengers of God receive his messages, for that is part of your appointed role. He has not failed to offer what you need, nor has it been left unaccepted. Yet another part of your appointed task is yet to be accomplished. He who has received for you the messages of God would have them be received by you as well, for thus do you identify with him and claim your own. It is this joining that we undertake to recognize today. We will not seek to keep our minds apart from him who speaks for us, for it is but our voice we hear as we attend him. He alone can speak to us and for us, joining in one voice, the getting and the giving of God's word, the giving and receiving of his will. We practice giving him what he would have that we may recognize his gifts to us. He needs our voice that he may speak through us. He needs our hands to hold his messages and carry them to those whom he appoints. He needs our feet to bring us where he wills, that those who wait in misery may be at last delivered. And he needs our will, united with his own, that we may be the true receivers of the gifts he gives. He needs our will, united with his own, that we may be the true receivers of the gifts he gives. Let us but learn this lesson for today. We will not recognize what we receive until we give it. Let us but learn this lesson for today. We will not recognize what we receive until we give it. You have heard this said 100 ways, 100 times, and yet belief is lacking still. But this is sure, until belief is given it, you will receive 1,000 miracles and then receive 1,000 more, but will not know that God himself has left no gift beyond which you already have, nor has denied the tiniest blessing to his Son. So we want to be sure that we need to learn this lesson for today. We will not recognize what we receive until we give it. That's why we're ministers of God. You have heard this said 100 ways, 100 times, and yet belief is lacking still. But this is sure, until belief is given it. Until belief is given it, you will receive 1,000 miracles and then receive 1,000 more, but will not know that God himself has left no gift beyond what you already have, nor has denied the tiniest blessing to his Son. What can this mean to you until you have identified with him and with his own? Our lesson for today is stated thus: I am among the ministers of God, and I am grateful that I have the means by which to recognize that I am free. I am among the ministers of God, and I am grateful that I have the means by which to recognize that I am free. We want to bring that into our 5, 10, 15 or more minutes in the morning and in the evening. And then every hour we want to tell ourselves, I am among the ministers of God, and I am grateful that I have the means by which to recognize that I am free. The world recedes as we light up our minds and realize these holy words are true. They are the message sent to us today from our Creator. Now we demonstrate how they have changed our minds about ourselves and what our function is. For as we prove that we accept no will we do not share, our many gifts from our Creator will spring to our sight and leap into our hands, and we will understand what we received. I am among the ministers of God, and I am grateful that I have the means by which to recognize that I am free. Okay, let's go take a look at our text reading. We are ready for, we're in chapter 16, the forgiveness of illusion, section 6, specialness and guilt. And let's pick up in paragraph 48, and we'll see if we can't read the rest of the chapter. What on earth is going on today? Chimborazo Day, which is the highest point on earth when you consider the bulge of the equator. It's in Ecuador, and when you consider the bulge of the equator, even though it's only 20,000 feet, and Mount Everest is 29,000 feet, it's still the highest place on earth because of the bulge at the center of the earth. Drawing Day, or Pencil Day. Impersonate Authority Day. And Marcus Aurelius said about in meditation, when you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. Impersonate Authority Day. Jefferson Davis's birthday, they've celebrated in Florida Day. Love conquers all. And let's say something about that. And I don't want to take away anybody's encouragement to love, but at a deeper, or at kind of a deeper level. Remember what we read just a few days ago in paragraph 34 in this chapter? It said, love is. There is no triumph of love. Only hate is concerned with the triumph of love at all. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself which you have built against it. So we're learning that love doesn't actually triumph over things. It's what is naturally occurring in everything. We just want to remove the blocks that are allowing it to be, or for us to see that it is. National Black Bear Day. Bear is the Ursus americanus. I had a black bear run across my place here a few months ago. National Bubbly Day. National Cheer Coach Day. National Chocolate Macaroon Day. National Egg Day. National Family Recreation Day. Oh, wow. Starting the summer off with a family recreation day. National Itch Day. You itching to do something? Go do it. National Learn to Row Day. Been wanting to learn to row? Good time to do it. I'm going canoeing this weekend with my kids. National Pineapple Day. And we'll talk about pineapple in just a minute. National Play Outside Day. National Prairie Day, which is recognize the rich ecosystem of a natural prairie. National Trails Day, take a hike day. Repeat Day. Ryan Moran Day. The Wicked World Croquet Day. Turtle Races Day. You ever had a turtle race and put them in the middle of a circle and see who gets to the outside circle quickest? And World Clubfoot Day. Yeah, using turtles, is what I'm trying to say. World Clubfoot Day. Just recognize that that's a situation where some children are born with and very often is easily corrected. Okay, I said I want to say something about pineapples. Pineapples, they're in the Bromeliaceae family, and they have bromelain in them. The genus is Ananas, and the species is Chimosis. And you know, they aid in digestion, may promote healing after injury, may relieve symptoms of arthritis, may support immunity, and may support cardiovascular health. I found that on the bbcgoodfood.com. And bromelain, which is it's highly concentrated in the core. So I eat the core too. They used to cut them out. I just eat the core too. But bromelain is promoted as a dietary supplement for reducing pain and swelling, especially of the nose and sinuses, gums, and other body parts after surgery or injury. It is also promoted for osteoarthritis, cancer, digestive problems, and muscle soreness. Topical bromelain is promoted for burns. Found that on the National Institute of Health. And then also on todayshomeowners.com, I found follow these 5 easy steps for growing a pineapple. And if you're not in zone 9 or warmer, then you'll need to bring it in when the temperatures get down to about 50. But it can be a nice house plant. Keep it in a nice sunny window. But here's the steps. Buy fresh pineapple, slice off the pineapple crown, remove the leaves from the stalk, allow stalk to dry about a week, plant pineapple stalk, water, or you can just put it in water and watch the roots form, and wait for pineapple to root and repot it as a potted plant. Take you about 2 years to get or longer, up to 3, but about 2 to get. Depends on how much sun you give it before you get you a pineapple. Okay, let's go take a look now at our reading for the day in chapter 16, section 6. And I said we're going to start with paragraph 48. And let's keep in mind, I am among the ministers of God, and I am grateful that I have the means by which to recognize that I am free. The special relationship is a strange and unnatural ego device for joining hell and heaven and making them indistinguishable. And the attempt to find the imagined best of both worlds has merely led to fantasies of both and to the inability to perceive either one as it is. The special relationship is the triumph of this confusion. It is a kind of union from which union is excluded, and the basis for the attempt at union rests on exclusion. What better example could there be of the ego's maxim, seek but do not find? Most curious of all is the concept of the self which the ego fosters in the special relationship. This self seeks the relationship to make itself complete. Yet when it finds the special relationship in which it thinks it can accomplish this, it gives itself away and tries to, in quotes, trade itself for the self of another. This is not union, for there is no increase and no extension. Each partner tries to sacrifice the self he does not want for one he thinks he would prefer, and he feels guilty for the sin of taking and of giving nothing of value in return. For how much value can he place upon a self that he would give away to get a better one? 50. The better self the ego seeks is always one that is more special, and whoever seems to possess a special self is loved for what can be taken from him. Oh my. Where both partners see this special self in each other, the ego sees a union made in heaven, the upside-down world there. For neither one will recognize that he has asked for hell, and so he will not interfere with the ego's illusion of heaven, which it offered him to interfere with heaven. Yet if all illusions are of fear, and they can be of nothing else, the illusion of heaven is nothing more than an attractive form of fear, in which the guilt is buried deep and rises in the form of, in quotes, love. Paragraph 51. The appeal of hell lies only in the terrible attraction of guilt, which the ego holds out to those who place their faith in littleness. The conviction of littleness lies in every special relationship, for only the deprived could value specialness. The demand for specialness and the perception of the giving of specialness as an act of love would make love hateful. And the real purpose of the special relationship, in strict accordance with the ego's goals, is to destroy reality and substitute illusion. For the ego is itself an illusion, and only illusions can be witnesses to its reality. 52. If you perceived the special relationship as a triumph over God, would you want it? Let us not think of its fearful nature, nor of the guilt it must entail, nor of the sadness and the loneliness, for these are only attributes of the whole religion of the separation, and of the total context in which it is thought to occur, the religion of separation. The central theme in its litany to sacrifice is that God must die so you can live. And it is this theme which is acted out in the special relationship. Through the death of yourself, you think you can attack another self and snatch it from the other to replace the self which you despise. And you despise it because you do not think it offers the specialness which you demand. And hating it, you have made it little and unworthy because you are afraid of it. 53. How can you grant unlimited power to what you think you have attacked? So fearful has the truth become to you that unless it is weak and little and unworthy of value, you would not dare to look upon it. You think it safer to endow the little self which you have made with power you wrested from the truth, triumphing over it and leaving it helpless. See how exactly is the ritual enacted in the special relationship? An altar is erected in between two separate people on which each seeks to kill his self, and on his body raise another self which takes its power from his death. Over and over and over this ritual is enacted, and it is never completed, nor will it ever be completed. For the ritual of completion cannot complete, and life arises not from death, nor heaven from hell. 54. Whenever any form of special relationship tempts you to seek for love in ritual, remember love is content and not form of any kind. Whenever any form of special relationship tempts you to seek for love in ritual, remember love is content and not form of any kind. The special relationship is a ritual of form, aimed at the raising of the form to take the place of God at the expense of content. There is no meaning in the form, and there will never be. The special relationship must be recognized for what it is, a senseless ritual in which strength is exacted from the death of God and invested in his killer as the sign that form has triumphed over content and love has lost its meaning. Would you want this to be possible, even apart from its evident impossibility? For if it were possible, you would have made yourself helpless. God is not angry. He merely could not let this happen. You cannot change his mind. No ritual that you have set up in which the dance of death delights you can bring death to the eternal, nor can your chosen substitute for the wholeness of God have any influence at all upon it. See in the special relationship nothing more than a meaningless attempt to raise other gods before him, and by worshiping them to obscure their tininess and his greatness. In the name of your completion, you do not want this. For every idol which you raise to place before him stands before you in place of what you are. 56. Salvation lies in the simple fact that illusions are not fearful because they are not true. They but seem to be fearful to the extent to which you fail to recognize them for what they are. And you will fail to do this to the extent to which you want them to be true and to the extent you are denying truth, and so are making yourself unable to make the simple choice between truth and illusion. And to the same extent you are denying truth, and so you are making yourself unable to make the simple choice between truth and illusion, God and fantasy. Remember this, and you will have no difficulty in perceiving the decision as just what it is, and nothing more. 57. The core of the separation delusion lies simply in the fantasy of destruction of love's meaning. And unless love's meaning is restored to you, you cannot know yourself, who shares its meaning. Separation is only the decision not to know yourself. Its whole thought system is a carefully contrived learning experience designed to lead away from truth and into fantasy. Yet for every learning that would hurt you, God offers you correction and complete escape from all its consequences. The decision whether or not to listen to this course and follow it is but the choice between truth and illusion. For here is truth separated from illusion and not confused with it at all. In the last paragraph, 58, how simple does this choice become when it is perceived as only what it is? For only fantasies made confusion in choosing possible, and they are totally unreal. This year is thus the time to make the easiest decision that ever confronted you, and also the only one. You will cross the bridge into reality simply because you will recognize that God is on the other side and nothing at all is here. It is impossible not to make the natural decision as this is realized. Okay, well, let's remember our lesson today, every hour today, and for 5, 10, 15 or more minutes, morning and evening. I am among the ministers of God. I am among the ministers of God. I am grateful that I have the means by which to recognize that I am free. I am among the ministers of God. I am among the ministers of God, and I am grateful that I have the means by which to recognize that I am free. I am among the ministers of God. I am among the ministers of God, and so are you. I am among the ministers of God. I am among the ministers of God. Well, thank you all so much for joining me. And if there's any of the things we talked about, I'll put the description below on some of those things that we talked about on the pineapple. You might want to read that article if you're actually going to plant one as a house plant. Anyway, until tomorrow, be sure to tell yourself throughout the day, try every hour, at the top of the hour, but any time during the hour, I am among the ministers of God. And I am grateful that I have the means by which to recognize that I am free by sharing. By sharing, you get to know what you've received. I am among the ministers of God. And be sure to take your 2 longer 5, 10, 15 or more minutes in the morning and again in the evening. Telling yourself, I am among the ministers of God, and I am grateful that I have the means by which to recognize that I am free. I am among the ministers of God.